looking for a loan of anywhere from $50 million, $25 million to maybe $300 million. Eligible borrower will pay an eligible lender an origination fee of 1%, and SP will pay 0.25%. So banks would make 1.25% from this fees, which 1% is paid by us and 0.25% is shared by government. And in case of MSLP loan, is 0.75% and 0.25%. The main difference between PPP and Main Street. PPP was established as part of CARES Act, and Federal Reserve, technically Main Street was also created by CARES Act, but the funding is done by the bank and government is guaranteeing the program. So that is the main thing, that funding is done by the bank, government is guaranteeing the loan program. So that is very, very important for us to understand. Another thing is, on top of this, sorry for that, no payment of principal or interest will be required during the first 12 months. In second 12 months, second year, interest would be due and principal would not be due. And in third year onwards, principal is also due. Another question is, unpaid interest is capitalized. So any unpaid interest in year one, it's not interest free, but it is capitalized. Now, one second, I'm having some technical difficulty. Let me see if I can close this. Okay. We are giving you a guarantee. We are working with multiple banks. We are also going to evaluate a good business, because banks are only wanting businesses that who can sustain and repay. So when you come to us and work with us as a Perfect Capital, which is again a brainchild of our CEO, Vaishali Thakkar for Perfect Tax. And, when she created this program, we had given a commitment to our banking partners that we will not bring loans which technically they cannot repay. So we at Perfect Capital are also evaluating all these loans to make sure that these are sound businesses who can repay the loan at the end of 5 years, because we want to make sure that as a business owner, you get benefit out of it. At the same time, you are able to technically get the maximum liquidity, but also banking partners have got good customers who are coming in. So our fees, the way how it works is 1.5% of the total loan amount, but you will only pay either 25% upfront, maximum of $10,000. So example, let's say if you are seeking a loan of $1 million, your fees would be $15,000, and then on that $15,000, you would pay 25% upfront, which is 100% refundable if you don't get that Main Street lending loan. So if you don't get the loan, all the fees are refundable to you. The only way you can lose that advance amount is two reasons. Either we got you the loan, but you decided not to accept it, or if we got you a loan and technically, you did not provide the documents for us to technically continue funding your loan. Now, I would like to technically take some questions from this point and see what other people have questions about that. As I said again, the questions could be asked in the chat window, or you can ask the questions through the Q&A window, and I would continue answering those questions. So there was one question asked that I need help to diversify and get liquidity. So as part of this question, you are able to technically get the liquidity. We should be able to fund this program in next 30 to 45 days comfortably. You should be able to create liquidity for yourself, enough liquidity where you are able to technically, support your business. So if you are technically going to run out of PPP money, or by end of by end of June or July, it is the right time for you to get started to ask and start getting that issue resolved. One thing. Second thing, it is also important is that if you are technically looking for a mechanism to fund the opportunity, how can I technically fund this opportunity for growth? A lot of people also ask me this question, that where can I use this money? Government is having some restriction that if you are taking a salary, you can continue taking salary. If you are taking distribution, you can continue taking distribution equivalent to your tax liability. You cannot suddenly increase your distribution just because you have received this money. Government wants to make sure that you are using this money to grow your business. They don't have any restriction on how you can deploy this capital to grow the money. So they are not having any restriction from that perspective. There's one question I see. If my business is a medical practice and I want to diversify and invest in appreciating real estate, can I use this money for short-term real estate transaction? As I said again, the answer, very clear answer, if you tell the bank, would be no. But you can technically create a mechanism where you can still utilize this money for real estate. So it's not a simple answer is that you have to use this money for growing your operating business. It is not to technically distribute more capital, but if you were to say that I'm going to deploy these funds because this is part of my core business of what I do, then you can utilize that money for that purpose. I would strongly recommend that please talk to me one-on-one about this particular question, that yes, you should be able to use that money. Are there minimum revenue requirements from prior 2 to 3 years to apply for this loan? No, there is no minimum requirement for prior 2 to 3 years. They are going to look at 2019 EBITDA numbers. And if your EBITDA is minimum $60,000, which includes the income plus interest plus depreciation add back, then you should be able to take advantage of this loan. Another question I see is, what is the maximum loan I can borrow? The maximum loan you can borrow is technically, up to $300 million. What is the minimum loan you have to borrow is 250K. So that is why an EBITDA of about 65K is needed, because if you multiply 65K by 4, that is 250K. So that is why minimum EBITDA of 65K is needed. So those are all great questions. My recommendation is, this is not like your PPP. Not a lot of banks are participating. You have to work for larger banks. You might be a very, very small client. So my strong recommendation is that if you're looking for, a program to help, you should technically engage Perfect Capital right away, who can answer some of those things to get you money. I could use funds, but not looking for a loan. So yes, you could use funds, but the funds are coming in from either MSLP or EIDL program. One more question I see is that loan needs to be repaid in 5 years. That is correct. This loan needs to be repaid in 5 years. Can we use the MSLP loan for paying property tax? Yes, you can use the MSLP loan for paying property tax for your business. Basically, there is no restriction that you cannot use that money. Another thing, important thing is for people who have business, a lot of people have come and asked me this question, that Sam, for people who have this business, but they don't have ability that how they would repay the loan. So we have created a new investment fund called MSLP investment fund. In this MSLP investment fund, we would be deploying that asset into income producing assets. Like we are right now working on as a real estate developer, we are working on an asset where we are having Microsoft as a tenant. And if we deploy that money, we can guarantee the funds are repaid back to investors and repaid back to government. So what that really means is, if you invest to that fund, after paying the government cost and after paying the government fees, we would make sure that technically you make minimum 3% extra per year. So what that means is, if you have $1 million extra in loan, you are able to take $30,000 a year extra in your pocket, even if you don't need money. So if you don't need money, talk to us one-on-one, and we would tell you how we can guarantee you extra 3% to 4% in your pocket after paying the government dues, and how somebody would guarantee on your behalf this loan. So my strong recommendation is, if you don't need money to grow your own business, this is still a good opportunity. Good businessman, smart businessman, not only makes money, but also makes his money make money for himself. So in this program, as Perfect Tax and Thakkar developers, we have technically helped clients invest money and deployed the money such a way that you get annual return year over year. We deploy that money into assets like leasehold assets or stabilized assets, which guarantees the repayment to the government, and which also makes sure the guarantees returns to you. And this return is paid yearly. this return is not paid at the end of the maturity. So if you don't need money and if you don't know what to do with that money, even in your business, we can help you how to do that and what to do that. Can we use MSLP to pay personal loan? If we can justify that personal loan was taken to grow the business or support the business, yes, you can do that. Can I use the loan to buy income producing commercial real estate? Again, if you can show that that was part of your core operations of the business, then you can. So there is a way to do it. Tanvir, I would recommend to talk to me one-on-one how to do that, and we can technically try to help you. These are all great questions. I really appreciate those questions. I would continue staying on and continue answering these questions. Please continue answering that in the chat window or in the Q&A window. One of the qualifying criteria is not the revenue of 60K or 50K. The question is 50 to 60K revenue required? The answer is no, it's not the revenue, it's the EBITDA. What that really means is earning before interest payment, tax payment, depreciation payment, and amortization. So if you bring me your financial, if you bring the financial to our experts, we will review that and we would explain you how to technically take that program and maximize that program for you. There's another question. Are EIDL available now for any business? EIDL loan, I've just talked to the SBA. We know a lot of people in direct SBA team, and we just talked to an SBA team. Yes, EIDL loan has become available now. My strong recommendation, Mr. Rao, is that talk to someone from our team, and we know how to maximize your EIDL loan as well. The difference between EIDL loan and MSLP loan is EIDL loan repayment terms is 30 years. MSLP loan repayment terms is 5 years. I'm saying both the loans are great loans. You should technically take advantage of that. If you don't know how to take advantage, talk to us. We will help you. And not only that, we will guarantee you that you will make additional 3 to 4% extra in your pocket after paying the loan commitments and the interest to government. What is the processing time for the loan? Typically, processing time for this kind of loans are anywhere from, I would say you should sufficiently plan 30 days to 60 days max. You should be able to get this loan because there is a full underwriting. This loan would take extra time compared to PPPs and EIDLs. Any minimum for EIDL loan? No, there is no minimum for EIDL loan. You can take as little as $1,000. Again, great questions. Keep those questions coming. What is the maximum loan under EIDL program? Government on their website, they are talking about that the maximum loan under EIDL program is $2 million. But according to my experience and working with so many clients, we have helped so many clients get the EIDL loans. I've not seen a loan exceeding, I would say 150K to 200K maximum. Another great question. When is the next PPP round going to come? There is a good chance you might never see the next PPP round. We don't know. It's Washington. Your guess is as good as my guess. Is there a possible plan of thinking that there could be an additional PPP loan? At this point of time, I don't think they might do additional PPP loan because they feel that the PPP loan today also is about $100 billion still stuck with not utilized money. So money is still in PPP with $100 billion not utilized today. So I doubted that they would bring another version of PPP loan or another round of PPP loan. Now, could there be another stimulus stimulating the economy? There could be a stimulus. Again, nobody can say for sure. We would have to wait. Is there going to be some money today? Today, recommendation from Democrats is not to give any PPP loan. So we don't know if the PPP loan would really come back or not. So I would not count on a PPP loan. I would definitely plan out to get the MSLP loan and try to help my business out. Which is easier, get EIDL or other? Or how do we decide which one to apply? Mr. Rao, that's again a great question. If I was you, I would apply for both and I would get both. Why? Because you can not only technically get that money and deploy it into your business, but you can possibly try to figure out that what is the best way to make money on this thing. As I told you earlier, I have got more than $100 million people are investing with us on the MSLP loan. They're taking the MSLP loan. We are guaranteeing the payment of the interest to government. We are guaranteeing the return of the principal guarantee in the terms government is laying out. And we will make sure that you as an investor are still making additional 4%, 3 to 4% in your pocket. What that really means is for every $1 million, you make $40,000 a year. In 5 years, you make $200,000. So if you're able to borrow $2 million, you're talking about $400,000 extra for your business or for you as a benefit. When is the program going to start? Program has already started. It's first come, first serve basis. If you don't technically take participation and money runs out, we would have to wait for future to see that if this programs continuously get more funding from the government. But as of today, it is technically what it is. When the funding runs out, there is a $600 billion. When the funding runs out, it runs out. When is the program? So program has already started this Monday and last Monday, and we have already started applying for that. I had talked to 10 banks. Majority banks are not understanding it. They don't know how to maximize the loan for you. So you need an expert on your side where Perfect Tax and Perfect Capital can maximize that. If we don't get your loan, the 100% fees are refundable. Any deadline for EIDL? Again, EIDL deadline last time it had stopped. It just has opened up 2 days back. There is no guarantee that there could be an EIDL. When they run out of money, that is when the deadline would approach. So I would recommend to get as soon as possible if anyone is interested in either one of them. Who are some approved lenders we can apply through? The approved lenders, you'd have to look at Boston Federal Reserve's website. They don't technically give you the approved lenders. The approved lenders are relationship basis. What that really means is that if you were to walk directly to those lenders, they might not even take your loan because they need someone to confidently tell them that this loan, as an accountant, is a good loan. It's not going to technically go out. That is where technically it is important. If bank is charging 1% fee, then why you're all charging more than bank? So the question is, bank is charging the 1% fee, which is allowed by government, and 0.25% they're getting from the government itself. So they're getting 1.25%. Our fees are for the work that is involved. We have to prepare. We have to technically work with the bank and answer all the questions. We have to prepare the financial projection, business plan. We have to technically work with the bank and tell them that we have reviewed the financials and this financials looks good enough. They are good customers. That is how you technically would get funded. Another thing is our fees are 1.5%. And if you were to reinvest that money with the new investment fund we have created, then there are no fees. You don't have to pay any fees to us at all. Our fees are zero if you were deploying or investing the money with our fund where we are helping you grow that money. If you're investing that money yourself and taking that money yourself, then that is what our fees are. Technically, these are very standard brokerage fees. In any loan, 1 to 1.5% brokerage fee is very standard for all the work, and they don't even do the amount of work we do. In this scenario, the amount of work we do is quite involving and quite extensive. Does Perfect Tax take care of all audits? How long does the business insure of any audit risk? Perfect Tax takes care of all the audits, and your business is insured permanently as long as you are a client with us. So we technically take care of your audit risk permanently. We don't technically try to shortcut anything. Which bank are you using? I am using close to 100 different banks to do that. Not a single bank would have an appetite to technically deal with all the customers. Our banks we utilize are different banks, and we have a unique relationship formed with these banks. That is why we are able to navigate these territories and able to do that. If you walk into a branch, this is not like PPP. No banks are even advertising that we are doing MSLP loan. So this is not like PPP where you can walk in and say, let me take care of you. If you're large enough clients, some banks might say, let me take care of you because you might have loans with them, and they would take care of, protecting their own loans and own asset portfolio. Can S Corp apply for EIDL if employee take unemployment benefits? Yes, you can take that loan, and yes, S Corp can apply. So please, again, reach out to my team, send an email to info@perfecttax.com or 469-213-1519. I'm again putting a slide on the screen which has the email address and phone number on the screen, or you can send an email to salesteam@perfecttax.com or info@perfecttax.com, or call us on 469-213-1519. An expert is available right now to help you how to take advantage of this money. So we can use this money in investing anywhere besides our running business. Serve Gray had asked this question. The answer is no, not straightforward like that. But we have found a workaround and a legal loophole where you can utilize that money to invest. So if you were to ask me my straight question, answer would be no. You have to invest that money into your business. But are there workarounds to invest that money beyond the business? Yes. And when you engage our company, we would help you that how you can do those things. These are all great questions. I really appreciate everyone asking these questions. Again, I would also like to give you my cell phone number. If you want to text me and ask me this question, it is 214-454-7230. Again, it is 214-454-7230. Or you can call today at 469-213-1519 or send an email to info@perfecttax.com or sales team at perfecttax.com. As I said again, if you don't know what to do with that money, talk to us. We would help you. What is the best efficient utilization of the money? And is there a mechanism if you can invest beyond your business? That is a custom strategy which we have to work with you. When you have engaged our firm for Main Street Lending Program, we will also guide you through those questions, how to do that. By default, they've said that you can use the money for your business. They have not said that you can take that money and invest into other things. But there are workarounds to everything. So please, again, talk to us one-on-one and see how we can help you on that. I would like to still take any other questions. What would be the case base of calculating loan if we start business in January 2020? If you have started your business in January 2020, it is very difficult to technically, Main Street Lending Program focuses on 2019 underwriting, not 2020. So they are looking for 2019. EIDL loans could still take 2020. So EIDL loans you can still take for 2020. The MSLP loans, your business needs to be in operations in 2019. So that is very, very important. That yeah. Okay. So I want to understand that if anyone has any questions, I would love to answer those questions. Thank you very much for attending the session today afternoon. What we are going to do is, please note down the number and email address. Again, I'm going to give my cell phone number one more time. If you want to text anything, please text on that number, 214-454-7230. And the direct dialing number is 469-213-1519. A lot of people lost that opportunity initially for PVP and had to wait for extra funds to come back. My recommendation is don't delay, don't procrastinate. If you don't know how to invest that money or if you don't have need, please talk to us. We will help you. And there are no fees at that point of time if technically we are helping you reinvest that money with the funds which we have floated. If you technically want to take that money and invest it yourself, we would also help you with that. If you want to technically understand that how much am I eligible in your scenario, one-on-one, please talk to us. Show us your financials, last year's financials and tax returns, and we'll try to figure out that what is the money you are eligible for. But again, I really appreciate everyone joining. Thank you very much. Thank you for this afternoon. Thank you. Again, the battery is